Hi everyone, good morning to you all. Welcome back to Louise Plus 10. Okay guys, so it's tip of the week Saturday today. I have had a subscriber ask me to do some tips on raising a family and keeping clean. This subscriber is expecting her first baby in June, so congratulations Louise. I hope all goes really well for you. It is such an exciting time to have a baby. It's absolutely amazing. So I've put together 5 tips for you, and I really hope that a lot of other people can actually sort of take some of this on board, and I hope it really helps you out. So tip number 1 is always be prepared. Always expect the unexpected, because when you've got kids you just never know what's going to happen. So what I mean by be prepared is set yourself some sort of routine. So you might say meal times. Breakfast will be at 7, lunch might be at 12, and tea might be at 5. Always stick to that, because kids have become reliant upon those times, and when you've got into a pattern and you're feeding your kids, they will get hungry at those times. But it's best to have those regular times, because the kids know where they stand, they know when they're going to be fed, and if your kids get hungry, they're going to tantrum and they're going to play up. I mean, it's only natural. I mean, if we get hungry, we can get grumpy. And always sort of be prepared for the next day, the day before, because you know, what I used to do when my kids were little, even back to having my first child, which he is nearly 21, I used to get all his clothes and the nappies and the baby wipes, and the night before I would fold them neatly on the changing mat, and then when I came to the living room and I'd finished feeding him, all his clothes were there. So it was just a case of lying him on the changing mat and getting him dressed for the day. That way you're not running around frantically trying to find everything you need. Tip number 2 is find a routine that suits you. So now this does not happen when you have a newborn baby. When you first have that baby, they cry a lot, and as a mum you try everything. You'll rock them, you'll feed them, you'll change the nappy, you'll win them, and they still might carry on crying, and you don't necessarily at that stage know what's wrong with your baby, but you just try everything to sort of soothe them. Well, of course, when the baby gets a little bit older, it just sort of clicks in your head, and it's like you know then why your baby's crying, so you know they're hungry, you notice a pattern. So find a routine that suits you. So when your baby's a little bit older, you know, all of a sudden a routine just sort of naturally comes along, and you might know that you feed them at, I don't know, 7 in the morning, and then all of a sudden you notice that your baby is sleeping for 3 hours. So it might be that your routine is, when the baby's sleeping for those 3 hours, you could run around and do your things you need to do. It might be putting some washing in, run the hoover around, just keep on top of the basics, and that could be your routine. Whatever routine you pick, what suits you, just stick to it. Tip number 3 is always have a set bedtime. Like, a set bedtime for children is definitely a must. Kids are really quite hyperactive, and I'm sure most kids would easily stay up most of the night if you let them. But kids realistically thrive off a bedtime routine. It's a difference between having a really crabby child that tantrums and cries all the time to a really happy, settled child. And it's something that I am really quite strict about. You'll remember I did a video a few weeks ago, and we were swapping the bedrooms round because I'd allowed Poppy to share with Chelsea. Well, of course Chelsea's older, and Poppy, honestly, she was tantruming like 24/7, so I had to nip it in the bud very quickly. But it's something I have been very strict about. I like them to go to bed and go to sleep for a certain time, and also that means I get some time to myself. So of course you'll get that too. Kids know where they stand. Kids need sleep, they need routine. Tip number 4 is never take the weight off your feet until you are done. So you take the weight off your feet and you've still got things to do. I guarantee you now, you are not going to want to get back up and finish off what you've left. So I never, ever sit down till I know everything is done, and then it's not playing at the back of my mind. knowing that I've got to do it later. And you tell yourself you'll do it later, that later turns into the morning, but then because it's built up, you think, oh no, I'll do it later again, and that later never happens. So never take the weight off your feet until you've finished what you need to do. And tip number 5 is invest in a calendar. You might think that's mad saying that, but believe me, before I got my calendar, I forgot everything. It's in one ear and it's out the other. And the appointments I missed and other things I missed, it was an absolute nightmare. When you have a child or you've got children, there is so many things that you need to juggle. There's housework, there's appointments, there's school runs, there's cooking, there's cleaning, God knows what, and you know, phone calls to make, emails to respond to, and believe me, if you don't have that calendar, you will forget. And always check your calendar the night before and think, right, what have I got on for tomorrow, and prepare yourself. And those are my 5 tips, Louise, and all you lovely people out there, to help keep the house clean. So sticking to all these routines of being prepared the day before, having set bedtimes, etc., will all help towards keeping your home clean. I just wanted to say, everybody, this is the last tip of the week today. I'm going to bring in, it's almost like bringing in new series, if that makes sense. So I like to sort of chop and change things and keep things interesting, should we say. If you do want tips, just drop me a comment. You know me by now. If anyone comments, I always respond back because I'm kind like that. Like, I'm just a nice person, you know. I just feel that if you take the time to watch my videos and comment, I think it's only polite to actually give you that back. I think it's really, really rude if someone comments and I don't respond back. So you know, if you ask for something, just like I'm doing today, and just like some of you have asked in the past, if you ask for a certain tip or anything, I will always give you that tip. So it's not all lost, tip of the week, but we can just do it in a different way. So I really hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. Hopefully you're going to find it helpful if you needed this sort of video and tips. And you take care. And Louise, I hope everything goes absolutely great with the baby and the birth. Keep us posted. Really excited for you. It's absolutely amazing. Okay, take care, everybody, and I shall see you on Tuesday. Bye.